You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Grey's Anatomy After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Grey's Anatomy After Show.
Nobody knows where they might end up. Nobody knows.
Yeah. Oh. Selfie. Fly.
That's the second verse.
We are ridiculous. Hey, you guys, welcome to another episode of the Grey's Anatomy After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. Hello, Jason J. Carter in the hot seat. Hi, ladies.
Hi, I'm Julie Partin.
And I'm Starr Session, and I got a special guest to my right.
Jason Romrell.
That's right.
Yes, everyone. Our legal eagle is back. Jason, so glad to have you back in the hot seat with us tonight here at AfterBuzz.
Thank you.
You know, all week long, people on the blogs and online have been talking about what happened with Callie in court. Now, we know it was 2 weeks ago on the show, but it was such a heavy, hot subject and a really good show that people wanted to know what happened was legit.
With the fact that she threw the papers away at the very, very end.
Yes.
That's kind of like where it's a little sketchy.
It's gray, a little gray.
You know, what would have happened, what could have happened, and, you know, what would be her charges?
So, go ahead.
So we do miss our Kelly, who is in Texas.
Yes, we do.
But we have a fantastic fill-in tonight that is also going to answer some questions later.
Yes. I thought, why not have our resident legal eagle come in and set the people straight?
Set them straight.
So, Jason Romrell, Esquire, was Callie wrong for throwing away those papers? One, and is that maybe perjury, or you know what legal ramifications would come about if she was actually found out that if it was found out that she threw those away?
Well, throwing them away was a big problem for several reasons, but there's this principle in the law called spoliation of evidence.
Spoliation.
Yes.
They got creative.
So if you have evidence and you hide it, or like Hillary Clinton did way long ago, she at the Rose Law Firm, she shredded all these documents.
Mm-hmm.
You destroy the evidence, and the judge has a couple of choices. The judge has discretion to say, if they find out, the judge has discretion to say, we know you threw something away, so we're going to tell the jury that they can infer that it was really bad. They can assume that you threw away something that was horrible, would have killed your case, and we're going to tell the jury that they can actually make those assumptions.
Wow.
The other thing is, some states have criminal penalties if you destroy evidence like that, so she could be prosecuted and she could go to jail.
I was hoping that like a janitor named like Romeo or Jesus would find the you know, in the garbage and be like, yo, we found this in the garbage, and then, you know, the whole thing comes back up.
The biggest shame of that whole part of that story, though, was the attorneys that were on the plaintiff's side. If they had done their job right and done the proper discovery, they would have found out about the letter. They would have found out about the history of this implant. They would have found out about infections.
Yeah, it's like
and
the
deaths.
Research like stopped on that side.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, don't they have researchers that do that and are supposed to look into
they would have known
the case?
Was your judicial butt just burning with this, like, damn it, why didn't they figure that out?
Well, you know what I liked about it, though, is the principle, anytime you go to court, you can get really scientific and really technical and talk about all the details, but the real key to winning is making the jury and the judge like you.
Same thing in the industry.
So,
you know
I mean,
who you know.
It's not really
that's everyday
about the law.
life.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna touch back on that a little bit later. Tonight's episode, I mean, Walking on the Moon, I think it was called. For the last 3 episodes, I'm sorry, I have not been walking on anything because it's been flat out boring, except for last week. But tonight's episode was, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, a 5, and people have been tweeting about it all day. You know, all of our wonderful Twitter followers.
Not a 5.
Alicia Harding,
Objection.
hi.
Okay, so I've been dying with excitement over these redhead sisters.
Why?
I don't know. I knew they were going to be funny. I knew they were going to be just like April.
Yeah.
Although, I got to say, I thought we were getting the wedding tonight. I thought we would at least see the beginning of the wedding tonight.
The only thing I kept thinking about the redheads was, do the curtains match the carpet?
Oh my gosh.
I can tell you, like, almost 100% not all of them are redheads.
Yeah.
For real.
I saw some roots.
Some roots.
Some roots. Okay, so you thought, Jules, you thought we were going to get the wedding tonight.
I thought we were at least going to get a glimpse of the dress, a glimpse of the venue. I was really stoked about that.
But
We didn't get any of that.
None of it. We got the shower.
we got no Grey's magic tonight.
Well, the shower is definitely
no,
important.
we got some Grey's magic
The
tonight.
only magic that went down was when Meredith and Yang had their cat fight. Mine's bigger than yours. That's all that happened.
I don't know. There was magic at the very beginning of the episode with Shang Yang.
Ooh.
They're feeling each
freaky.
other.
I called it though.
No, we all called it.
Okay.
Everybody knew it was going to be
She
awesome, but
had-
I didn't expect it to be so fun.
It was a super swirl featuring Mochi tonight because she was all about it in the beginning. Mochi is a nice dessert
Yes,
you get at Yogurtland.
I know. I just can't believe you made that reference, but okay.
But so they start at the beginning, and like I'm really into this relationship.
Shang Yang is something that hashtag Shang Yang. We're still using it. I love that they're together,
Me
you know.
too.
But he has definitely grown up, as well as just has balls now, if I can say that. Like he's just really ballsy,
Right.
you know, with the way he speaks to different doctors in the hospital, and as well as how he speaks to Yang.
Sure.
You know, he's now like on her level.
He's very authoritative now. It's like Burke 2.0, but younger
Burke was like above her level, yada yada yada. But I feel like now he's like went from intern to like now I'm like the man. I'm on the scene. Like I call the shots. I'm saying there's a live streaming. I'm saying, you know what I mean? Like
When
right?
Meredith said he's aggressive and mean, though, is he aggressive and mean because he's trying to emulate her, or because he's upset
That's
for
what she
having
was
sex with
asking.
That's what she's, and then
what's interesting, sorry to cut you off, is that Meredith doesn't know about this relationship.
Right.
She has no idea what's going on in Yang's life. So this is like a secret that still hasn't been revealed, and I feel like people are going to catch on very soon, which will be fun. But
I feel like that conversation they had was interpreted wrong, but we have those conversations with friends or people or peers that we might be in competition with, or for whatever reason, it's like you misconstrue, or because there's feelings there, or there's whatever, maybe jealousy, intimidation.
Right.
They could say the cat is brown. What? You're saying I'm brown? What? It's always because they're two very competitive people. But getting back to Kepner in the shower, I have to say that every time they have a sibling on the show, the sibling always has to be annoying.
isn't that life?
No.
Yes.
My siblings are not annoying.
That's what you do with siblings on TV, though.
Yeah.
You bring them in, and then they're the character that you love personified even that much more, to
That's
the point
true,
that
I'm
it
with
drives you nuts.
Well, because look, Derek and Nancy and all his sisters and Amelia, annoying. And then these three sisters, of course, they're so stuck in the
Of
backwoods
course
of
they were going to be
Ohio.
annoyed. That's what was going to be
I
hilarious
just feel
about
that,
it.
again,
Yeah.
I have
They're
to
from the
critique-
South. They're annoying.
They're not from the South. They're from Ohio. I mean, they're from
They're from Calville.
Yeah.
Who cares? They were from a farm.
Okay.
Period.
But I have to critique
From a farm.
Girls. I have to critique Grey's though, because I do think that we see a lot of reoccurring themes throughout the seasons. It's always like, okay, when Yang and Meredith are working with the 3D printer valves and conduits, something's not going to fit. That's happened before so many times where they have this transplant, it's rejected, someone's gonna die, VP, push 3 of Vicro, it's just
But that's going to be on any show you watch and that you fall in love with. Like, the stories are kind of always, when it goes into 10 seasons, things can repeat. And it's okay. I think it's okay that it repeats, that something is going to break or doesn't fit. But I love the part that it was like kind of like an unspoken competition between the two. Like, they're in completely different rooms, didn't know these surgeries they knew the surgeries were happening, but they were doing their own thing, and Yang was kind of bummed about hers not going so well, and then Meredith was super excited, and then it just kind of was the flip side on both. It was the competition.
It was a super interesting parallel because Meredith and Cristina are fighting constantly,
right?
But then they also have these cases that ended up dueling for the media attention and the hospital attention.
Sure.
So they're doing them at the same time. The baby, where they're putting the valve in, and the
an
sheep.
actual human.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is more exciting, but at the same time, like, I think Meredith's surgery would have gotten attention if Christina's hadn't stolen its thunder.
Well, yeah, they've been playing that whole role of like Meredith really needs us to learn more about it, and it is a serious topic, but they keep throwing her like a fork in a sheep. So it's like they're like kind of undermining her like knowledge about what's going on. But it's kind of funny. And then Yang seems to be having this pressing matter for needing it for a real human, and then she's kind of ending up on top.
The thing about it is, though, I think even if Yang's had gone really, really well and all the people were just focusing on that one, Meredith still gets the credit for this. She created a 3D printer to make body parts.
Yeah,
she didn't create it.
Well,
she rented it.
Right.
She like the first? Aren't they the first ones to build?
It was a Black Friday sale at Best Buy.
Aren't they the first ones to build body parts out of it?
Yes,
though?
they were.
Okay.
And she had the realization that she could do this with this printer, remember?
Right.
But to me, I'm sorry, AfterBuzz, I think it's whack. It's like me saying I could make a person from like sugar. But I mean, whatever. That's
but this is real science.
That's
It's really happening in the real world from what I've been reading. Like it really is happening.
Yeah,
so
I know.
They're like touching base on that.
Well, Grey's is really good about bringing actual real life events to make the show more relevant.
That's why we love it.
They pay millions of dollars for advisors every season, so they obviously got to be on point. But competition is a running theme in this season because at the beginning of the episode, we see Matthew and Avery talking, and all of a sudden some dude gets dragged by a car.
I asked this a bunch of times. Why were they together in the first place?
I think they're in a relationship secretly.
No. Who? Why were Matthew and Avery?
I'm just kidding.
Why did Avery crash the brunch, and where were they walking?
And what was he wearing?
Right. Well, no. The thing was, I guess he went to go get coffee, and the brunch was there.
Right, when you
that
passed
happened. Then he was like, take the sisters to the hotel or whatever, and the sisters like, no, we want to go to your hospital. And then that's when he was like, okay, well, I'm going to go to the car. And then Avery was also leaving to go back towards the hospital.
So they weren't hanging out.
They weren't hanging out. It was just
together.
like by accident. So they were trying to have awkward conversation, and then that's when the tragedy happened with the tie in the
wrong.
I was really hoping, and I don't hope for things like this often. It's mostly Jason's role.
So we got to see the guy drag through with his tie.
I was hoping the guy would get dragged, and then the meanie would get out and get hit. I thought he was going to get his for being so rude to everybody.
Karma, don't worry, it'll come back to him.
Seriously.
He should get sued.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
Don't hit him with a car. Hit him with a lawsuit.
What are the legal remedies? That's so funny. But, okay, so we have to talk about Karev and his tragic life. His dad is back. James Remar, so glad to see you off of Dexter, back on Grey's.
He just stumbles in trying to get himself clean. Apparently he's been trying to get himself clean since that bar incident.
But he's been trying to get himself clean, but apparently he was high as a kite.
No, I don't know. Okay, see, that was a little unclear. Maybe I missed it or something, but I don't know if he was just detoxing and this was like he was actually really trying to get himself clean and his body was detoxing and he came to the hospital.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I don't think he was on anything.
They didn't make it clear, but if he's coming in and he's like, he was adamant about what he was saying, that he wanted to stay clean. He didn't want to take the methadone. He didn't want to do anything to help wean him off of the drugs. But so it sounds like, he was just detoxing.
But you hit the nail on the head, Starr, and Julie and Jason Romrell, Esquire. It wasn't clear, and that has been my issue with the writing and the way the show's been going lately. It's because, previously, and AfterBuzzers, I'm sorry, I know I talk about the past because the Greys of yesteryear was so glorious. However, I do think that the stories are not... the puzzle's not fitting together seamlessly. It's like how you have the puzzle where you can kind of make something fit sometimes, and it works, but naturally
it's very, you said it, it's very choppy in its editing and it's not flowing like a story, like one thing leading to another, which is like the beauty of what Grey's usually is like even though they're in the same hospital and it's different storylines, somehow they all kind of connect. This week, yes, there was the theme of walking on the moon and doing above and beyond with different stories, but it was just kind of flat or choppy, or just didn't flow well. Their transitions weren't there.
I think the meat of the episode, I thought for me, was Bailey's situation with her OCD, and great guest star Ileana Douglas. She's an indie producer. She's wonderful. Been in a bunch of movies. One called Grace My Heart. Awesome chick. But seeing Bailey go through, it's just this whole OCD thing could be easily taken care of by her taking the pill. And ladies, am I missing that the reason why she doesn't want to take the pills? Did we get that in a previous episode? Because they never talked about pills prior to tonight.
No, they haven't talked about pills or touching on it. And you were saying like use the mental therapy.
That's not even the first step that they would take. Although obviously it's inhibiting her life and her work.
That's true.
So maybe it's come to that. But the thing about it is, anytime you go into that area, it's not just to treat OCD. They usually have to treat it like an art. They're having to treat epilepsy with the same pills that they treat depression. And this probably was an antidepressant of some sort.
It was.
And so I could see her not wanting to do that. I mean, to take different steps or think that she could conquer this on her own. And antidepressants never come without side effects.
But I must say that I don't think it was really about the pill that she didn't want to take. I think she just didn't want to accept the fact that she has OCD.
Right.
Yeah.
And so with taking the pill is like accepting the fact. And she, she didn't want to get help because she didn't accept the fact, And so I think the talk with I still want to call him the chief always, but whatever. With Mr. Weber, Dr. Weber, when they had that heart-to-heart moment at the end, that's when it was like, you know what? Sometimes people just need help, and they don't know how to accept it.
Right.
And that was her moment of accepting
So Richard's finally out of that hospital bed.
But still in the hospital.
But so annoying, not doing surgery.
Still wandering around doing nothing but being the grandpa of the hospital.
Wearing the worst colors ever, and just like
you kids, why are y'all gathered here together to say bye to me?
He's like that guy. You're like, what does he do here? Well, once upon a time in his heyday, he was a surgical technician.
I mean, Weber is like a character and a half when he was like eating at the table and just throwing out like adjectives like beautiful, love it, eating the food. I thought that was like hilarious.
Literally that family member that won't leave. He's just sticking around, going to places he's not invited.
Oh my
They're
gosh.
like, go home. Nope, not going home.
Uncle Bob.
Absolutely
I'm going to crash parties.
Auntie Velma, why is she still here? It's 5 a.m.
But it was like he left, he went home, he's back.
He's back,
Like,
right.
Immediately.
You didn't even give me a moment to think about it.
But he did have a great Yoda moment where he's like, I had to admit to myself that I was an alcoholic. That's why I'm here right now. I can't be home alone with my drink.
I get bored and I drank. And I have a drink. he drinks. But do you guys think that that's the end of Bailey's, the OCD? Do you think we're going to see more of that? Or do you think that she's fine? Maybe it's not going to be as intense. Because here's what I want to have happen. I want Bailey to lose it and like stab people in the
and get crazy.
Yeah, get crunk.
Ooh, that would have been fun.
I mean, this little short, she just like slicing people up. I mean, she's a skilled surgeon. She could slice you up and put your parts in different places. It would have been off the hook.
I didn't even think of that.
And then line people up and be like, don't move him. You know what I mean? And then like counting your fingers and stuff.
It just turned into a scary movie so fast. I absolutely love it. But like honestly, like I think the Bailey situation is going to go on for one more week, just to finish out the season, whatever. And I'm kind of over it. So hopefully it'll be deaded next week. Like
deaded. I love you.
You know, like I took the pills and now I feel better and I'm back to surgery and we can move on.
I would love
Julie said, the side effects could be part of the.
I would love it if it's something that she continually deals with but isn't necessarily a plot.
Right. I agree.
Because, for so long, Owen had PTSD.
Well, he choked out
really bad.
Like,
and that's not even a thing there anymore. Sometimes I wish we'd see a glimpse of it,
Like, I got crazy.
A car or him freaking out, I mean, that's something you never fully get over. So I would love it if it was something we moved past, but at the same time still was a part of her now.
I'm like tapping my fingers. I feel like Bailey.
Just out of curiosity, would you, if you had to have general surgery and you knew Bailey was your doctor and you knew her condition, would you let her operate on you?
No.
Yeah. I mean, okay, counting her fingers and making sure her ornaments are instruments are in order, I wouldn't mind that. But the fact where she would just go back in and recheck thing after thing after thing, leaving them open forever, probably no. I'd want to make sure somebody was in there holding her accountable.
Oh my gosh.
You're right. Yeah, and just seeing Bailey being that vulnerable, she's never the afflicted one. Bailey's always the hero. Bailey's always the one who's strong and holding. I mean, some of her best monologues on the show have been in crisis, where she's like, saving the world, saving people being shot. To now see her be that, I would have much rather. It would have been more believable if she would have, I don't know, had like ovarian cancer or something like that. I know, because like the reason why I'm saying that.
Jason's like, it's bad, but it's not bad enough. have.
Like Tyra Banks, you think you had it bad? I wore a chainsaw bikini. No, but
Tyra Banks, you think you had it bad? I grew up with chicken legs and a large forehead.
we were all broke.
Hashtag Tyra Banks.
Wait, so lawyer Jason, would you let her operate on you for the fact that you could sue her afterwards?
Yeah, is there legal ramifications for that?
Absolutely. It's
called loophole.
The hospital has vicarious liability, and in a lot of cases they would have vicarious liability for what the surgeons do. So I liked that part of the show where they wouldn't approve her for surgery until she was cleared by another physician with experience. So that's great for the hospital. Excellent. But suing the doctor is medical malpractice. Here's an interesting statistic. There are about 200,000 deaths from medical malpractice every year. You know how many medical malpractice lawsuits are filed on average?
Like?
Between 15 and 20,000.
Wow.
So there's not nearly the same amount of lawsuits that come out of the people that are killed in the operating.
Well,
good.
I speak for most of America when I say we've all wanted to sue someone at one point, looked into it, and been like, "Whoa, can't afford that."
Well, why do you? But do you think it's a money thing? Why people don't sue, or why do you think that is?
Well, in the medical malpractice area, every physician's going to have insurance,
right?
And part of the obligation of the insurance provider is to provide the defense. And they do not want to set a precedent that, hey, if you sue us, we're going to settle, we're going to give you the easy money. They fight it, and it's really, really expensive. I mean, if you're not going to get $500,000, an attorney's not going to take the case because it's too expensive.
Gotcha.
And probably the paperwork. That kicks half people out alone.
Well, but Bailey does it. It'll be done on point 5, 6, 7 times.
Oh my gosh. She'll go over it over and over again.
Wait, I didn't cross my T or dot my I. So, Callie in Arizona.
Obnoxious.
And then, can we just touch on Leah for a minute? How they tried to have a tinge of, I saw feelings for Arizona for you tonight, but it was not working. It was like, let that die.
I did think it was funny how the other interns were coaching her to be normal. She's sitting there. Hello. They're like, "Are you okay?" "I'm dying inside."
Well,
that was funny.
Yeah, it was a cute moment, but like when it comes to Leah, like that storyline is gonna come back.
You think?
Yeah.
Nobody wanted them together.
A threesome could be fun.
No,
I mean.
Nobody would have a threesome with
ahead?
the person that they're having an affair with.
You don't watch enough TV. Hello.
Enough TV. Oh my gosh. I mean,
www.youtube.
Leah's just not. I mean, her character was like really strong for those few episodes,
it definitely
and
was.
I want to see that come back again because I think she is a good actor, even though she was annoying towards the beginning of the season. Right?
Yeah.
We all thought she was annoying,
Leah,
right? She got a little strong,
right? And she was accessible. She wasn't. She revealed. When you reveal, you become relatable.
When you become relatable.
Hashtag the drama queen. You know what? Relate to us online. Go to iTunes, tell a friend, rate us, comment. We love to hear from you guys on YouTube. Any place you can, talk to us. Let us know if there's things we don't know about Grey's Anatomy. We like to be in the know and just get the scoop on the juicy tidbits that is Grey's Anatomy. Rate us on iTunes.
That's right. Join us on Twitter. The conversation just continues on. We've got people live tweeting as we speak, and they're just saying that there are just too many characters.
Right.
That's sort of what I was thinking too. Yeah. You should have maybe 3 main stories an episode. They're trying to do 7 to 10 every single episode.
Yeah, it's hard to follow.
None of them rising above. They're all equally as strong, and so it's just too many.
Did anyone care about McDreamy's drama with Girl with?
See, that's the thing. We almost forgot about that. And that was a cool patient story. The hand.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, what happened?
the paralyzed woman.
There's too many.
They need to stop with all these clinical trials and get back to the drama. There needs to be people like,
I do like the hand one, though. That was a great patient story.
And it could have been used for a different episode.
It just got drowned by April's shower.
Which was lame. Well, I will say the husband's nostrils were on point, though, when the chick reached out to touch him. I mean, those nostrils were flaring like mutant style.
Yes.
So this lady could not move this arm that they had installed these trackers in her head to make
she
move,
was like
right?
a transformer.
Yes, so she had this cool arm.
She looked, all I thought was...
Oh my gosh, that's horrible.
She couldn't move it, but she had the capability, and they couldn't figure out how to make her move it. And they realized she hadn't done anything for herself in so long she forgot how. She was only depending on her husband. That was kind of sweet.
Yeah, I guess that was the twist of that. I didn't take that away from that moment, but I guess
No, that's what it was. She didn't know how to think to do something for herself because she'd been relying on her husband so long.
to do everything.
So right when he was there, it was just naturally, you're here, now I could do it.
It's the little nuggets we give you. It's the
moved.
nuggets we give you.
Wow,
The hand
you're
move.
so observant. I totally missed that.
Right?
How could you guys miss that?
No, I knew
That
it
so
wasn't definitely
powerful.
about the husband, but I didn't take the
You guys
connection.
were too much making fun of the husband's
No.
nostrils, right? He's like this. And Star's like, John!
Really? I thought it was about the product placement of the water. That's why I was just like, they want to get that Aquafina shot because Pepsi's probably a sponsor or whatever.
Oh my God.
But,
You guys
I
really
didn't get
missed
that.
it.
Wow, Julie, you are so. I think your pregnant brain's making you more observant. You have like special powers now.
I think I'm just a girl with a good husband.
There you go.
Not to sound
that's
cheesy,
sweet.
it's just how it is,
That's
though.
okay.
You rely on your husband a lot when you're pregnant. Feed me. Feed It's literally like that every day.
I'm eating for 2. No, but yeah, again, you hit the nail on the head, Jules, when you talk about these stories that could really be good because the patient stories used to also intertwine with the doctors. The shooter. How many times do we have?
Don't bring that up. It gives me bad dreams.
That was
really does.
the brilliance of that storyline is because 6 episodes later, this guy that you forgot about is the one that came back and took it out in the hospital.
I still see him in my dreams. Can we not talk about
That
him?
scared you that bad?
I had to sleep with the lights
it was
on
the most
that
talked
night.
about episode
It
for
was like,
weeks.
I remember
and I woke
it
up in the middle of the
happening.
night being like, I'm a doctor. No, wait, was I a nurse or a doctor? Wait, which one survived?
The nurse?
I was a nurse.
You weren't a surgeon.
That's
I wasn't
so
a
funny
surgeon, I
that
was a
had that
nurse.
much impact on you guys. It didn't really to me. I was like, what are they doing?
Well-
Did they really just bring in all of those people?
Well, when they
from
started
Seattle
shooting
Grace?
at point blank, that's when, in the first 5 minutes of the show, I was like, turn on the lights. I couldn't do it.
The news talked about it, how graphic
It
it
was
was. And
too
Sean,
much.
but they had to go, and that's what I'm talking about. Taking
Let's do that
risks.
ag- let's do that
Yes,
again.
someone please get shot in the head on Grey's and
No.
die for the
As
first 2
long
seconds.
as there's never another plane crash.
Right.
Yeah, well,
I couldn't deal with that for 1
They
second.
should get lost at sea.
lost at sea. Anyways, back to this episode.
But you know what? Yeah, I guess what we're saying is
Water to
that
death.
there are fantastic patient cases. There's just too many stories
Right.
per
Exactly.
episode, and they're great. You guys probably have a lot of time. Spread them out, you know?
Yeah, but
I don't know what I would have chosen this episode to keep and watch throw away, but some of it could have been more powerful if it had been given due diligence.
I agree, and I feel here's what I would like to see as far as Cristina and Meredith. I think that now that the interns are here, we have this extra added element that we need to work in. Before there was no interns, it was them, it was the residents and their Teddy and their superiors. So it wasn't as like spread so thin. But I will say from tonight, you said if what I could keep or throw away, I would definitely keep the Meredith and Cristina
fight
yeah,
or
because
chit chat.
because I do think you see, I say this every week, you see images and glimpses of Meredith being her mother, and she always never wanted to be like Ellis, but this the cold and pointed and strong and very heartless way
That's not how
I that's what I get from
towards
it.
Cristina.
Towards Cristina.
Absolutely not. She went into that room kind of open-hearted and was just kind of like, she even like was trying to like have a conversation about Shane. She wasn't trying to pick a fight about Shane.
But it's
she
true-
was trying. She was trying to be nice. No,
But it was too late for that, though.
You're right. What's happening with their relationship is that they've
It's falling
gotten to a point that they can't say anything
They
without
can't say
offending the other one
sorry.
on accident.
Exactly.
She wasn't trying to offend her at all about Shane.
Yeah.
Like Cristina heard things Meredith wasn't saying. That's just what they're doing to each other right now. And I do still like it. They're trying to salvage the relationship by walking into the room, and yet they're still
and she was like,
so
if
mad.
you still need it, if you still need the printer, just
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
But it's the body language.
Just
that,
stop it.
Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but as hosts, we are trained to watch people's body language to see what they're thinking and what they're feeling.
Yeah.
So
Well, her body language is saying like,
bitch, I'm over you. That's
no,
what
the
you're
body
saying.
language is like, this is awkward. This is awkward, this conversation that we're having, and I'm trying to be nice and just like talk to you as a normal friend and a normal doctor. And then literally Cristina took it out of context, as well as Meredith did slip with saying Shane was...
Is she? Why
Shane
is he
was-
changed? Is he trying to
To be like
emulate
you.
Be
Yeah.
like
Aggressive
you.
and mean.
Yep.
I don't know. I feel like that there.
That was a slip.
That was a slip, a Freudian slip, because she probably meant to be like, "You're a mean and aggressive biatch." That's what she was trying to say, and I do feel, and maybe AfterBuzz.
You think she walked in that room to gloat? Because I don't think she did.
No, I don't think she- no.
Sheep had died. The baby had lived. The sheep had died. She was just going in there.
She
was trying to move past it.
Now there's a fight between all of us, and now we don't know how to talk to each other.
Did, Sandra Oh and Ellen Pompeo, Shauna, Demo. No, but
do you think Jason's trying to emulate you?
But I'm saying I do feel that.
Is that your like scary voice showing? Okay, go ahead.
I do feel like maybe Yang is past the point of no return. You do come to a point where you can damage a relationship so much where it's like, you know what, you said, and it's not even that. It's like when you disregard the friendship altogether. It's just like, wow, we've been through so much, and this is what you wanted. I thought I meant more to you than that. And I feel like Meredith has just been on her high horse because she's got the house, she's got the dude with the hair,
you
she's
are
got
more
the baby. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I really feel like
agree to disagree.
You know what? Friendships go on the rocks, and the only way that you move past it is several awkward conversations until one time you hang out and it's back to normal. They're just not there yet.
Maybe if you're a girl.
What if you're a guy?
Girl fights are like ridiculous.
You just never talk again?
If you're a gay male, just you don't talk.
Well, especially because they work together. They have to like work it out at one point or another.
Sure.
You know, because it's just like, who wants to go to work and be annoyed by someone every day?
Right. And yeah, I get. Okay, fine.
Which brings me to my least favorite part of the episode.
Which was?
I did not like it when April fired her sisters and chose these 3 coworkers that she doesn't like really at all in real life to be her bridesmaids. That's always been a big pet peeve about the show. They would not choose each other as their bridesmaids.
Jason Michael Romrell, Esquire, what is your view on family and that sort of thing? Would you, if let's say, if you had
That's
brothers...
such a vague question. What's your view on family?
How would you have handled that situation?
When it comes to family, creating a family is a lot of fun. Julie can probably attest to that. But how would you handle that situation?
Only Julie, not me over here.
April, I have 5 siblings. So I know what the conflict is like, and I know how much you love them but really don't love them, or maybe how much you hate them but you really love them. Anyway, her point wasn't, these are my friends, I want these as my bridesmaids. It was, you guys are a pain in the ass, get out.
Right.
She was making a point to them, to her sisters.
She would never. Suck. Christina treats her as bad as the sisters.
No, but she should regret that choice too.
She should never pick her.
I felt what I got from that is that what she was in the monologue she gave to her sisters was that they didn't see her for who she was now. Those people that she chose to be her bridesmaids, the doctors, kept her for who she is now, an amazing trauma surgeon. They're still calling her Ducky, you know, all these things. Libby, Kimmy, and Alice, who. Really with the names, you know, but so
that was funny.
I mean, so I got that. I thought it was great. I would have fired my sisters too if they were being that stupid, because she's saying, I am this new person. I am capable of all these things. You guys still see me in the past, and these people see me for who I am now, and that means more to me than my family being here ridiculing me.
The pearl thong came out, and she was like, I've already had sex. Like, they were like, what is, does Daddy know?
He has tasted the milk.
Does Daddy know?
I get what you're saying. The sisters need to see her for who she is.
Right.
But that would never happen in real life.
Okay, but we're in Seattle.
Nobody would fire their sisters and choose their coworkers that they didn't like.
She didn't choose the coworkers. It just was like, oh no, what am I gonna do?
Bridesmaid dresses have been ordered for 6 months at this point. It just would never happen.
I was not my brother.
I've been a bridesmaid 11 times.
Oh my gosh!
Oklahoma. They do that in Oklahoma.
You just like that would. I couldn't help but think that would never ever happen. Well, no matter how horrible her sisters were.
Do you need bridesmaids?
No, she should have fired them flat out.
I do think, honestly, the Kepner wedding, the Matner, I call Matt and April Matner, I do think that their wedding is corny. It's just corny.
Well, although, you guys, what did I come up with earlier? Okay. Avery needs to be there, right? Matthew, him and Matthew had a little squabble. You should have waited for me. I actually was sort of with Avery on this one. Let him do the trach. Come on, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's like, it would mean a lot to April if you were there. What if, instead of breaking up the wedding like we all think Avery's going to do, Avery ends up being her bridesmaids or her maid of honor because she realizes he's really my only best friend.
That would be awesome. That honestly, I would appreciate that.
I thought the twist you were gonna say was maybe Matt's gonna be like, you should marry her, and then hand him off.
No, I don't think that would.
No, that'd be weird.
I just like
Hand him off.
That'd be weird.
all of us have been thinking this whole time that the wedding won't happen. But in that moment, what if she realizes my sisters don't get me, you coworkers don't get me, only you get me, Avery, and he ends up being your maid of honor or something.
Is there any chance that she's going to get back together with Avery
Yes.
before the wedding?
Yes, they are, and they're gonna break up.
Once you go
Nobody
black, you
knows.
never go
You guys,
back.
that's just one thing I thought might happen with the way that
That's
the
pretty cool,
story
though.
went tonight.
She's not going down the aisle.
No, but
No.
her real dad has been cast to walk her down the aisle.
Yeah.
So they're gonna walk, and then she's gonna run away.
It's like
You
Runaway Bride.
think?
Yeah, and then he's gonna go like save her and be like, "Baby, now I told you."
At this point in
don't know.
time, I really don't know. I think she could go through with it.
Speaking of other, getting back on an earlier topic, we were talking about Karev and Joe.
Family issues.
That you know, I don't. They're just so awkward to me. It's just not. It's not.
Karev and
believable.
Joe are not. You don't think they're good together anymore?
I think it's always him defending her. It's one of those filler storylines. I could do without it.
They both can be cut from this season.
I mean, or Karev.
Karev can stay,
Yeah.
but he can just
You
do something
said
else.
that about somebody last week too. You said it about April. Basically, you throw out a character
that I don't
Star's
like in each episode.
out.
Cut.
Cut.
You're like,
She could be
and
cut from the
your
show. You said
contract is
that last
done.
week too.
But am I right, guys?
Cutting
though?
them
Like,
left and right. Casting couch over here.
it's almost like they just throw them in there for good. Like, okay, the dad coming in, we didn't need to see that. It's just it's not working. You know.
The thing is, we didn't think the dad was coming back. We thought that storyline was dead, and we could have been fine without it. The fact that he did come back and he's like having the same fight that he was having with Alex
And
back then is
hallucinations?
kind of weird that he's only stuck in that time frame. Like, why isn't he having, why isn't
Because
he?
Alex is in front of his face. But did you guys notice that before he went crazy on Joe, he was sort of saying things like he was trying to take care of Alex.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's been alone too long or he's been outside too long. Where is he? Like I was hearing from him
Yeah.
that he was feeling love towards the kid too.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's how some of those relationships are, where like the parents all screwed up, but underneath they really love their child. That's why they beat them. I know it sounds weird to me, but that's that I've seen that on TV before. So maybe that's the storyline they're trying to go with Alex. However, it doesn't change the fact that the storyline is
was
like
unneeded.
Yeah, the bow that it was wrapped up with last time was pretty.
ugly. Yeah, it should have been like, oh, and he's gone. You met your dad. You're mad. Deuces. And poor Joe, Grey's Anatomy makeup artist, no more bronzer. She looks freaking like a pumpkin.
Okay, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, like what kind of tan are
She
you
was
gonna get
like-
in Seattle?
Right? She was like Miami sun-kissed.
Yeah,
Like, ridiculous.
No, she needs to be pale and pasty.
Yeah.
Poor Joe. I did feel bad for her this episode.
Well,
She
asked
got
for
hit
it.
in the head.
I know. No,
but
she
I
got
was like,
manhandled.
be careful. Remember, I was like, she needs to be careful because he is like neurotic a little bit and going through this detox. He needs to be like held down.
You know who was throwing their power around
much?
tonight was Owen. I don't care what you think we're having cameras. I don't care what you think we're admitting him as a patient.
Well, his storyline's
man,
boring, too. He can
but
go,
He's
too.
so sexy. Just
This episode, he can go. He didn't need to be in it.
Yeah,
We're cutting scenes because we're trying to help them out.
You said they could be cut from the show.
Want to say
Now we're
what's up to
cutting scenes.
Roxy at Roxy Shiru. She says the wedding is going to be a disaster. I don't think the wedding will happen either. Smiley face. Yes, Roxy.
That's right. It's not happening.
I'm sure other people on Twitter are saying the same thing. Also, Ken213 says if Meredith and Cristina were still friends, that slip would have been a joke, but now it's a jab at Yang.
It's true.
Yeah. Boom.
She's
Hashtag
just being
pow.
so sensitive.
Sensitive.
Man, I wish the wedding was tonight. I was so excited.
I know,
about
but
that.
I didn't see any previews for it, so I kept thinking wedding, but then I was like, no, there's no wedding.
I've just
tonight.
seen pictures, and the wedding dress is a little disappointing.
Yeah,
but
they're not Vera Wang.
she's a homebody kind of girl. I don't know what I
She
was
made them
thinking
herself.
would
Tina
happen.
Knowles Originals. Beyonce's mom made those dresses.
Stop it. Love that though.
One of the things I did like, and I do gotta hand it to Meredith for her words of wisdom, her inspiration, telling Edwards that we're gonna fail and we're gonna fail and we're gonna fail, and then when we finally succeed, we're gonna be walking on the moon.
Exactly.
That was great.
She's like, that's what it looks like.
That's what progress
failure
looks
after
like.
failure after failure.
And she's right.
Although
That's just, like,
it was sad when
morbid.
she's like, there's going to be
But it's the
dead
truth, though.
sheep
No, it's
after
great.
dead sheep after dead
Yeah, that's
sheep.
where we're gonna little cry.
Oh, it was so cute when Stephanie was really attached to the sheep.
Yeah, and then
that was weird.
And they got a kitchen knife, and so I was like, "What kind of kitchen knife? Kitchen knife? That would never. Is that a surgical kitchen knife? Because that looks very like.
Is that like possible? Do they have those?
That was like KitchenAid. Like someone said, "Go to cafeteria, give me a knife."
They didn't give it a real autopsy. She's like, "Hand me the Cutco."
Yeah.
And then we had another weird slow-mo walking with Yang and Edwards, and they did the kid and play dance when they. When did they choreograph that victory dance?
Sheng Yang.
Does that really?
I thought that was cute. Yeah, I thought that was cute.
Yeah, but when did they have time to like practice the choreography?
Do lawyers do that?
Yeah, when did they come up with that?
You win a case with your. I don't know if you guys argue, have teams of lawyers.
Foot clapping.
Yeah, do you guys bankhead bounce or like maybe like?
Wait, we need something like when something's really exciting, like a good episode.
Like Dougie.
Let's try air high fives across the table.
1, 2, 3.
Air
Boom.
high five. Yeah.
Was that effective, guys?
No, that was an epic fail.
People on podcasts are like, that's anticlimactic.
That was an abject failure.
But so these parents of the baby, these parents annoyed me for some reason. She's like, it's a baby. It's a baby. We know it's a baby, lady. But they just like, okay, but the thing worked, right? And then they had this, oh, it looks like it's going to be a success when they really didn't know it. They walk in the hall, they celebrate together. They're having fun. This relationship might be more than just a, what's it called? May-December fling romance?
May December. Oh, yeah.
I like that.
Why would they say May-December? Why do they have those ones?
Oh,
I don't know.
December, you cuddle up, and May.
No,
like
it means an older person and a younger person.
Oh, I'm like springtime, fall in love.
September, February. It's just so stupid.
Never heard of it.
Roxy also online says, prediction, #prediction, Alex will reconcile with his dad, then he will die.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I thought the same thing too.
I actually do see some reconciliation with the dad happening.
Yeah, duh. Because how are we going to end the story? Kick him out again? Like
Alex, though, we know from having Sarah Drew on the show, that guy's never leaving this show. He has 5 or 6 kids at home.
Yeah.
So he's around to stay.
Yeah, he's a fertile mortal. But I will say that every time I see Alex's dad, I think of Sex and the City because he was on Sex and the City like butt naked on the, so I'm sorry, just, for reference to JMR.
I think of several things when I see that man. That's not one of them.
Yeah, like
well, he was butt ass naked on Sex and the City.
I remember.
Okay, so you know what then? We gotta give our scoring of tonight's episode. I'm gonna say it was a 6. I guess I'll say it was a 6.
Looks like after a heavy recap analysis, Jason has upped his analysis by one number.
Yes.
I don't like to give it numbers. I just am really sorely disappointed that there was no wedding tonight. I know it's coming next week, but that's what I wanted to happen.
Let it go, Julie. Let
it go.
You guys, that's what was going to happen tonight, and it didn't. Well, so I feel equally as excited next week, but disappointed that it didn't go on this week.
Well, Shonda did tweet that yesterday that she read, that they finally edited the final copy of next week's episode, and it's supposed to be jaw-dropping, like, the way to send off for the one. And Grey's winter finales are always like that. Jason Romrell, Esquire.
If this was a Yelp review, I'd give it probably 2.5, maybe 3 stars. It was
Which
okay.
Is about
you didn't send it back, but
it wasn't like it hit the spot.
I'm not going back there.
Starr Sesh.
For doing 1 out of 10, I would say it was like a 7 or an 8. Okay. It was definitely a filler episode that kind of is getting us ready for this mid-season finale, which is going to happen with Kepner's wedding. Right. So, I mean, there was moments in there that was like, ooh, but nothing that was like, this was the best episode.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to concur with you, 7 or 8. But here's the thing. Next week is supposed to be Cray.
In the last 5 minutes of the episode.
And then we're off till the end of February.
Till February 27th.
Yeah, that's going to be a long...
It can't happen.
Break.
We better get our grades filled next week, and it better be good.
Damn good. The last 5 minutes of episode of Grey's are always littered with Target commercials. I mean, it's
oh my gosh.
Let's move on to your predictions.
Ooh. Finally. We haven't had that in weeks.
And now, your AfterBuzz
even the lights.
TV. Wow.
/ predictions, news, and gossip. First of all, Julie said earlier that April Kepner, Sarah Drew's dad, is going to be on the show playing her father on the show.
They actually consulted him in last week's episode to ask how they should do the premarital counseling session. Oh. Because he's a real minister in life.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So you got a double paycheck? Is that how that works?
Yeah, he's double dipping.
Boom, boom.
Boom,
but he's given to the church.
That's right.
He's 10%. 10%. Go on.
Yeah, that's the news and gossip for next week.
And what about your predictions?
My predictions are, honestly, I don't have predictions anymore for Grey's because the storylines haven't been solid enough for me to be like, wow, this is going to happen, or I haven't been as interested in to see what's going to happen because it's been all filler for me. So I zip it. No predictions tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about it.
Okay. I've said most of mine, but I'll sum them up. Alex and his dad reconciliation. Shang Yang turns into more than just a fling for at least one of them. Oh, we didn't talk tonight about the Callie and Arizona, but I do think they may have found the key. Stop talking, be a couple.
And have sex.
And man, I was really set on this wedding not happening. And now I predict, I'm just going to go against the curve here and say she marries Matthew next week.
Okay.
I'm going to have to say that it better be better than this week. I mean, there's really not much of a prediction. Wow. I've said it throughout the episode what I think is going to happen next week, so we'll see.
And Legal Eagle?
Weber's going to walk in on Ross and Yang, and that's going to kick off a series of crazy events, which ends up with Miranda being pregnant with Weber's child.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Everyone is...
You heard it here.
You heard it first.
Everybody, somebody out there is like, me too. I think that too.
All right, you guys, there you have it for this week's episode of the Grey's Anatomy After Show. I'm Jason Carter. Find me on Twitter at JDCForever and also online at the Say What Web Show.
I'm Julie Partin. You can find me on Twitter and Facebook at JuliePartin.
And I'm Starr Session. You can find me on Twitter at StarRSession and at the Say What Web Show.
Jason Romrell. You can find me in court.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.